Hi, welcome to Monumental Math. I'll be showing you today how you can play math baseball in your classroom. I'll show you in a couple different ways. The first thing you need for this one is a game board. I just bought some paper from a craft store that had the baseball images on it, and then I put the title on and listed the outs. That's all I had to do. And then I have little spools with little buttons that are baseballs. How cute. So there'll be two teams and they will compete. Somebody will be up to bat. They're the ones that can run around the bases. The other team tries to beat them so they can make them have an out. And just like in real baseball, after 3 outs, you switch teams. So let me show you how we can get started. You need to have a way to give them problems. You need to know which team is up to bat. So they can roll dice, and whoever gets the biggest, okay, this team got a 6 instead of a 1, so this team gets to go first. And so you will have whatever kind of flashcards you have. I'm just going to use numbers from a deck of cards. I would be looking at them, and I would say, maybe if it's second graders, 6 plus 7. And the first team to say 13, if it's the team that's up to bat, they get to go to first base. Then I say batter up, and that means they have to get this into position. I move this out of the way just to get rid of visual clutter. The next problem is 9 plus 9. We'll say they got it again. So this one goes to first base, this one goes to second base. I have this tilted up so it can't stay there, but then I say batter up and they start going again. If my next problem, I say 10 plus 5. If this team wins the contest there, they get it speedier, then they just gave them an out and everybody stays in position. Okay, now this team is going to now want to lose again. So 9 plus 2, we're going to get this out of the way. 9 plus 2, if that team says 11, they got that. So they move to first, to second, to third, and I say batter up. And so then the next one is 2 plus 3. And if they get a tie, I always do tie goes to the runner. So I would say this team got it. So then, of course, they want to do running around the bases and say how they got a grand slam and high-fiving each other. Then I just have them, just so nothing is pencil paper, I just have a little grid here of 1 through 10 for each team. So they are now on the scoreboard. And if I say batter up, and I say 6 plus 4, if this team wasn't listening and this team got it right, well, they weren't listening, so they got an out. Ooh, pressure's on. I move this out of the way. 8 plus 5. If that team says 13, okay, great. They just got another point because they got another grand slam, and they're going to be talking about their batting averages and how they should get on a National League team and stuff like that. That's okay. Let them have little amounts. But as soon as you say batter up, they better be listening. 4 plus 3. Now, if that team got it right first, that'll be 3 outs. These all go off. Those stay. You'll see some kids clearing those away. No, your score stays. Okay? And then the other team gets up to bat. If it's 4th grade, you could have them multiply. Or here's another thing. You could have them multiply and add the third number, 5. 12 plus 5, 17. Makes it a little harder. The other thing you can do is have them multiply and subtract. And that's a little harder again, but that's okay. You're trying to stress your brain and make it stronger. That's how we build muscles. And so anyhow, I hope you used math baseball in the classroom. Let me show you another idea. For another idea, you can say batter up. This team is up to bat. And if you don't have flashcards or you don't want to use decks of cards, you can use my website. It's monumentalmath.com, and it has 12,000 problems on it. Here's the list of math problems. That's a lot of topics. And then even when you choose a topic, like this one, cut it in half. If we go to set 3, cut it in half, it shows a video of me. And I tell how to do it. But now these two are going to compete as soon as we do this. 35 will be cut it in half. Okay, the problem is, what is half of 35? 35 is like 20 and 14 and 1. Half of 20, half of 14, half of 1. So half of 20, half of 14, half of 1 becomes 17 and a half. Okay, if they get that correct before the other team does, then they move to first base and they get started. We can go to a different problem. Here's another set. It is finding the change back from a $1 bill. Okay, and it says your change back from a dollar bill would be how much if your purchase was 45 cents. And so then 45 cents, they get back 55 cents. And whichever team said 55 cents, you submit the answer. It's right. This is green. So then they get it. We'll say they won it. So then they're on first and second base. And if I say batter up, they need to get their batter ready, because then we go to a next problem. You could skip every other problem since they've seen it. Hi, teachers and tutors. Here's another thing you can do. You can cut some felt into the shape of home base and first, second, and third, and then put it down. And they use teddy bears or kitty cats or puppy dogs or whatever. They use some sort of stuffed animals that are going to run around the bases for them. That way you don't have to Xerox any cutesy paper or laminator or anything. You just have 4 stuffed animals. 3 that could be on base and 1 that's going to be up to bat. Okay, so you have them decide which team is going to go first, roll dice. We'll say this team got to be first again. So they do batter up, they decide they're the puppies, and you can have them have 30 seconds. Let them have 30 seconds to figure out what they want to call their stuffed animal team. They're going to have fun with that, I'm sure. So then puppy dogs, and you can call them by their team, the puppy chows or whatever. Puppy chows are up to bat, and so then your next problem will be 2 times 10. If they win it, this puppy chow goes to first base, another puppy chow comes up. So this puppy chow might go dancing over there. Let them have a little fun with it. That's okay. You'll pick the next problem. 7 plus 3. And so then if that team said 10, then whoops, they got an out. And you can have some way of showing that there's an out. There could be 3 chips. And if you put it in the middle, that means there's an out. Okay, next problem, 8 plus 10. If that team says 18, they got it right. This puppy chow goes to second. This puppy chow goes to first. This puppy chow comes up to bat. So batter up. Then we say 9 plus 2. And if this team got it, then they're on third base, second base, first base, and this one is up to bat, and they're going to be saying, hit us home, and stuff like that. It means they're getting into it, and they're having fun with it, and that's okay as long as they're not too loud. And you can have different sets of kids be doing this in your classroom. You can have the kids be leading it so that you don't have to be everywhere at once, trying to make sure they have the correct answer. They're going to try to make sure they have the correct answer, believe me. Okay? So then we'll say if the next problem is 5 plus 4 and this team gets it, oh, that's a second out. They're still in scoring position, and then we'll say the next one is 4 plus 8. Let's say this team got it. Oh, so sad. The puppy chows have to go home. And so then they have to go back. These 2 that represented outs go back into place, and then the Bears have to decide which one is up to bat, and they will do that. And they'll get all, oh, the crowd's going crazy, kind of thing. That's okay. Let them have some fun with it. Let me show you another idea. Take your big felt, cut a big home base, and large first, second, and third bases, and have kids clear the desks to the side, and then put these in the middle of your room. So you've got home plate in first, second, and third. You decide which are the teams. You decide somehow which team is up to bat. And then you have flashcards. And somebody has to be, from their team, somebody is up to bat. And only those 2 are going to be allowed to, the opposing team and the ones that are up to bat. They're the only 2 that actually get to answer the question. So you're going to show the problem. Maybe it's 3/4 plus 1/4. And so they're going to say the answer. Somebody's going to get it right. And maybe if the team that's up to bat got it right, that person walks to first base and the next person comes up. The person who didn't get it first walks to the end. The next person comes up. So their turns rotate. So then you show the next card and it might be 3 ace plus 1/4. Okay. And so if somebody says 5 ace, they're correct. We'll say it was still that team. So then they go to second base and first base and then somebody's up to bat. Same thing. Now this person rotates to the end of the line. Next person's come up. You show them a card 1/5 plus 1/10. If somebody says 3/10, and we'll say it's this team, ooh, they just got an out. You can write it on the board or you can have some way of noting that this is an out, but then keep the game going. Make them practice their math. They are going to want to do math because that's how they can score. And that's always a good thing, to be motivated. And they're going to have fun and they're going to enjoy it. So they're going to want it back again. When would you have the time to do this? Well, how about on a snow day when you only have half your class anyway? Or when half of your kids are off to a band concert? Or it's the day before winter break or the day after winter break or something like that, or at the end of the school year when they've had to turn in all of their textbooks anyway. This would be a great way for them to have fun doing their math, practicing math topics, whatever the topic is that you need them to be practicing. Good luck. Hope you enjoy it.